We're now ready for the Le Mans start for the first, the inaugural event in the Brighton All-Comers Pollack competition. Let battle commence.
Okay guys, we're on the move.
Well, as this is a Pollack competition, we're fishing as you'd expect with Pollack tactics. I don't know what Alan's got on. I'm using a standard French boom, just twisted onto a 40-pound mono leader, and then I've got about a 10-foot length of 20-pound breaking strain fluorocarbon. That's around here somewhere. There it is. And there's a 5/0 hook on the end. And currently, I've got a tomato jellyworm, that's described as. Tomato culprit jellyworm, actually. Just dropping it down to the bottom, winding it up at a given speed until a fish hangs onto it, and hopefully that fish will be a pollock. Needing a 10-ounce lead to get to the bottom at the moment, and I've got that fixed on elastic bands, so if the lead gets hooked in the wreck, I can pull and the elastic bands will snap, and it means I don't lose the lot. What you got, Alan?
I've got more or less the same. I've got a...
Well, while you explain yours, I'll drop over and catch
I've
one while
got
you're
the
not
same
looking.
rig, exactly the same elastic band and a ball lead. I've got a red gill. This is one of the original lures. It's 20 years old now, but still quite effective. I mean, there's loads, there's so many of them. Some of the guys on the boat are using a jellyworm with a fancy tail, and this is a new one from Tempest. These shads, they've been quite good. Sort of like a
looks lovely, that does, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's got holographic colours through the middle. So I think we haven't found out. There's been one pollock caught, and that was caught on one of these, wasn't it? A red jellyworm.
A red jellyworm, yeah.
So we didn't try that.
We'll keep trying.
Right, I'm going to get back as well. I've hit a decent pollock on a chocolate jellyworm. It's not a big monster or anything, but all we want is one in the boat to start us rolling. Just get on the board. Oh, well done, Phil. About 5, I suppose. We can make it look bigger, but it's not 10, but I'm well pleased with that. I got one, Keith.
We're now on our second wreck. We're in about 57 metres of water, and I'm just allowing this to fall to the bottom. We're actually just up tide of the wreck, although there's virtually no tide at all. It should be far better when we actually get some tide and the tide starts ebbing. But it's dropping it down to the bottom, and then I'm going to retrieve about 30 turns of the handle to get the jellyworm working. And if there's any pollock down there that are hungry, they'll intercept it on the way up. And it's a strange feeling because the rod just gets heavy, and it gets heavier still, and then they make this power dive for the bottom. It really is exciting. That's it, we're on the bottom now, and just start winding. And it's a bit like fly fishing. It's all about depth and speed. It's finding the right speed of the retrieve and the number of turns. Normally, if somebody starts getting one at, say, 20 turns, then most people will get them about the same depth. But of course, different reels have different numbers of turns required to get to that depth.
Better one, isn't it? That's a better one. That's what we come for, isn't it? Number 3.
Number 3.
Well, I've had a word with the skipper, and he's been listening to the VHF, and he's been on touch with 1 or 2 boats, but he said there's not so much chatter as normal. Normally they're on the VHF all the time with who's got what. But we've heard one 15-pound pollock, that's all, and we can't really work out whether the silence is because they've caught a lot or nothing. At the moment, we're chasing 15 pound. That means that'll put you well up in the competition. Number 5. Mumbo number 5, isn't it? Not as big as a couple over there, but I'm quite happy. It's last knockings now, Keith. You've got to pull your finger out.
It's normally Spurs that come late at the end, isn't it?
Yeah,
Get sneak a lucky draw.
Lucky fish.
I'm keeping my powder dry and my fish box. Well, I can't believe it myself. After 5.5 hours of really hard work, I've not managed to fish. I've had 6 or 7 pulls and they've just not hung on. I'm about the only one on the boat that suffered that. Everybody else has caught really well. Yates is caught enough to start throwing them back. And the biggest fish is getting on for 15 pounds. And that's him with a chance on the tournament. Really, it's been a terrific day. The weather's shone on us, the sea's been calm, the boat's been brilliant. Must be me that's rubbish. We're on our way back now for the presentation, and I won't be involved too much in that either. I may not have had a fish to weigh in, but I did have one more role to play in the day's events. Now the winner by a squeak, and it literally is a squeak, it's Nick Davis with a fish of £15.12. Well done, Nick. Well done, mate.